Hi dear students, welcome back to biology class. Let us continue with the chapter 5, that is morphology of flowering plants. In this video, let us discuss about the essential orals of the flowers, that is Androecium and Gynoecium. In the previous video, I said that the Androecium and Gynoecium, they are known as essential orals because they directly take part in the process of reproduction. Yes, you all know that Androecium is male reproductive part of the flower and it is composed of the stamens. That is, the individual member of the Androecium is known as stamens. In some of the flowers, there are stamens. They are sterile stamens. They are known as sterile because they do not produce pollen grains. Okay, so such stamens are known as staminodes. What are staminodes? The sterile stamens are known as staminodes. What are sterile stamens then? The stamens in which the pollen grains are not produced. Such stamens are known as staminodes. Each stamen, it is composed of a stalk. This is a stalk here and it is known as filament. Okay, and a lobed structure. This lobed structure is known as anther. The anther, it may be bilobed, or in some of the plants the anther consists of a single lobe. Okay, so when anther is bilobed, each lobe consists of two sacs, that is two pollen grains. You look at this. This is the transverse section of pollen grain. Okay, so it consists of, this is one lobe, okay, and this is another lobe. So the typical stamen in angiosperms, they are bilobed. When you take the transverse section of bilobed anther, we can observe four chambers. These chambers are known as pollen sacs. This is one pollen sac and this is another pollen sac. This is another pollen sac and it is another pollen sac. Okay, so this is one lobe here and it consists of two chambers, that is two pollen sacs, and this is another lobe here, it consists of two pollen sacs. What these pollen sacs are? These pollen sacs, in these pollen sacs, the pollen grains are produced. The pollen grains are produced. Okay, and as I said, the staminodes are those stamens which do not produce the pollen grains. In some flowers, the stamens, they are attached to other floral orals such as petals. In some other flowers, the stalk of the stamens, that is filament of the stamens, and fuse to form a bundles. Okay, so here are the various terms that we need to learn. The terms are epipetalous stamens, epiphyllous stamens and polyandrous stamens. Now, what are epipetalous stamens? Epipetalous stamens means here the stamens, they are attached to petals. You look at this. These are the stamens. Okay, so this is another stamen and this is another stamen. There are four stamens are visible here. These stamens, the filament of the stamens, it is attached to petal, whereas the lobes, they are free. In this image it is very clear. Okay, so these are the filament and these filaments, they are attached to petals, whereas the anther, they are free. The anthers, they are not attached to petals. Okay, so such stamens are known as epipetalous. You need to remember the definition of the epipetalous stamens. When the stamens are attached to petals, such stamens are known as epipetalous stamens. For example, in brinjal flower, that we can see the epipetalous stamens. The second term we need to learn is epiphyllous stamens. What are epiphyllous stamens? Dear students, in some of the flowers, we cannot differentiate calyx and corolla. In such condition, the condition is known as perianth. Okay, so in such flowers, the stamens are attached to petals. You look at this flower. Okay, so here we cannot differentiate the calyx and corolla. Such, that is, perianth is present here, and here the stamens, they are attached to tepals. This is a tepal here. Okay, for this tepal the stamens are attached. For every tepal is attached with the stamens. Okay, so such condition is known as epiphyllous. Example, lily flower. Okay, this is the lily flower. This is the tepal. Okay, and here you can observe these are the stamens. The filament of the stamen, that is, they are attached to tepals. Okay, here you are able to differentiate epiphyllous and epipetalous stamens. What are epipetalous stamens? The stamens, when they are attached to petals, they are known as epipetalous stamens. When the stamens, they are attached to perianth, that is known as epiphyllous stamens. The third term is polyandrous. Stamens in some flower, either they may remain free or they may be united in varying degrees. When the stamens, they remain free, that condition is known as polyandrous. You look at this image. This is the carpel or gynoecium, I can say. Okay, and the remaining, these are stamens here, and these stamens, they are free. Such condition is known as polyandrous. In some other flowers, the stamens, when they are many, they unite it to form one bundle or one bunch, two or more than two bundles. Okay, so when the stamens, they are many and they fuse to form one bundle, such stamens are known as monoadelphous. Mono refers to single, one. Adelphi means adhered, attached. Okay, so when the stamens, they are many and they fuse to form one bundle, that condition is known as monoadelphous condition. Monoadelphous condition can be seen in China rose, that is hibiscus flower. In hibiscus flower, you look at this in this image, there are many stamens. The filament of the stamens, they fuse to form one bundle, whereas anthers are free. Okay, so such condition is known as monoadelphous. In some other flowers, for example, in case of pea, there are 10 stamens, of which 9 stamens together forms one bundle. Here the filament of the stamen, it is fused and the anthers remains free, whereas the one stamen, it remains free. Okay, so as a result of this, it forms two bundles. This condition is known as diadelphous. Diadelphous, di means two, adelphi means fusion. Okay, 9 stamens together forms one bundle and one stamen remains free. In case of citrus, there are many stamens and these stamens fuse to form more than two bundles. Look at this. There are 4 bundles have been formed. Okay, so when the stamens united into more than 2 bundles, that condition is known as polyadelphous. Poly means many, adelphi means fusion of the members of the same oral. Okay, so this condition can be seen in citrus. In some other flowers, there is a variation in length of filaments within a same flower. For example, in case of mustard, you look at this. In mustard, there are 6 stamens, of which the 4 stamens, the filament of the 4 stamens, they are of same length. This is 1, this this second one and third one, and this is fourth one. The length of filament of these 4 stamens, it is same, whereas the length of these 2 stamens, that is this stamen and this stamen, they are of with the same length. The filament of these 2 stamens, they are of same length. Okay, so there is a variation in length of filaments within a flower that can be seen in mustard as well as salvia. This is about the male reproductive part of the flower, that is Androecium. So here you need to remember all the terminologies, that is epipetalous, epiphyllous, polyandrous, then monodelphous, diadelphous, and polyadelphous. Next we need to discuss about female reproductive part of the flower, that is Gynoecium. It is also known as pistil. Okay, so pistil, it is composed of carpels. The number of carpels, it varies from flower to flower. There may be only 1 carpel, 2, 3 or more carpels. A typical carpel consists of 3 parts, that is stigma, this is stigma, style and ovary. This ovary is placed on the thalamus. Okay. Then, what is stigma? The tip of the style is known as stigma. It serves as a landing platform for pollen grains. When the pollen grains are transferred, and these pollen grains, they comes and sits on this surface. Okay, so this is stigma. Then what is style? The style is elongated hollow tube-like structure. You look at this. This is a tube-like structure. This is a longitudinal view of a typical carpel. Okay, so it is, the style is hollow, elongated tube-like structure which connects, the style connects stigma and ovary. Okay, so the ovary, it is, ovary is enlarged basal part of the carpel. This ovule, it consists of, this ovary, it consists of number of ovules, and these ovules are attached to a cushion like tissue. Look at this. This is a cushion like tissue, and this tissue is known as placenta. As I said, the number of carpels, it varies from flower to flower. When the carpels, they are many, and if they are free, that condition is known as apocarpus. What is apocarpus? You look at this, there are 3 carpels are there. This is 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so these 3 carpels, they are free. When you take a transfer section of these carpels, you can observe 3 locules and they are not fused here. Okay, so this condition is known as apocarpus. Then another important term you need to remember here is syncarpus. What is syncarpus? When there are more than 2 carpels, 2 or more than 2 carpels, and these carpels, they are fused, that condition is known as syncarpus. Look at this, here also there are 3 carpels, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so these 3 carpels here, the ovary and style are fused. From here to here, the carpels are fused. This is ovary and this is part of the style, they are fused. Okay, so when you take transverse section of this ovary, here you can observe the one locule. Okay, but there are 3 carpels. This is unilocular and syncarpus. Here is another case. Here ovary, style and stigma, they are fused. Okay, and when you take a transverse section of this ovary, you can find there are 4 locules. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so there are 4 locules. Okay, it is also syncarpus. Here these two definitions are very important, that is apocarpus and syncarpus. What is apocarpus? When there are more than two or more than 2 carpels are present in a flower, and if they are free, that condition is known as apocarpus. When there are 2 or more than 2 carpels are present, and if they are fused, that condition is known as a syncarpus. The syncarpus type of carpels or pistil that we can see in rose and lotus, the apocarpus type of carpels that we can observe in lotus and rose, whereas syncarpus condition can be seen in mustard and tomato.